Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wantrepreneur Thursday. We moved to Thursday because of the holiday. So thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Patricia Chimino. I'm a certified life coach, and I help women who are in transition, women who are trying to discover the next chapter of themselves. And I created this mini series about 3 months ago, where every week I highlight a different woman entrepreneur who is just rocking out her passion with a business that she loves. And today I have the honor to have a new friend of mine, Jill Chmielewski, who is a registered nurse, a women's health coach, and a functional medicine practitioner. So I'd like to introduce her to you, and we'll go from there. Welcome to the broadcast, Jill.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. And so today I just want you to share who you are and what it is that you do and how your journey got to where you are right now. So there's a lot of people that are watching that, maybe they're thinking about their life and their next chapter. And I like to share stories like yours to show how one thing kind of just led to the next, which led to the next and the next. So.
Yeah, sure. So I started out 25 years I've been a nurse, which makes me feel very old. But that's where I would say it all began. And when I got out of college, I was about 35 pounds heavier out of college than when I started college, which I think is not that unusual for people. When we go away, I went to University of Wisconsin in Madison. I was drinking a lot, eating a lot of stuff I shouldn't have been eating. And I felt really bad in my body. And I think that's where I sort of got on that track of probably my first stop of just prevention, realizing that I needed to stop for a minute, start thinking about what I was doing with my body. And I went to my doctor and I was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome. And he told me I needed to make some changes. And that was sort of this impetus for starting to make changes, sort of lifestyle, long-lasting changes. So I started to move more and I started to listen to my body and I started to eat better. And I started to see that in general, from head to toe, I felt a whole lot better. And then, I would say maybe 10 years later, I have 4 kids. And my oldest, when she was 10, started having a lot of symptoms, a lot of gastrointestinal symptoms. And we had gone to the doctor, multiple doctors, couldn't figure out what was going on. They did celiac testing and it was negative. And they thought maybe she had a lactose intolerance. And so I started sort of like being a little bit disenchanted with conventional medicine, which is the medicine that most of us, our doctors, are part of today. And so I started doing some exploring, investigating, and some research into just the body and nutrition and how food affects the body. And so Claire and I together, that's my daughter's name, we started making changes. And that was about 8 years ago. And it's sort of this light bulb went on for me that when I saw how much better she got just with making a lot of food changes, I knew right away I wanted to go down that path and start helping women, helping other people listen to the symptoms in their body. And so I started doing some informal training and ultimately led me to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition's full health coach training, which is a year long. And then I've done 2 subsequent functional medicine trainings since that time. So now I work with busy women, busy moms, I would say for the most part, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, who have maybe put their own needs on the back burner to take care of their families and put their health on the back burner and sort of maybe ignored some signs and symptoms, just little whispers their body has given them. And I really try to help educate, inspire, and empower them to start making tiny edits toward better health.
That is so awesome. So explain, because you just said something that I had no idea. What is a functional medicine practitioner? Like, how is that different than a holistic health coach? What does that mean? I hear that term a lot. And
Yeah.
I'm going to start to hear more and more of it. So what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so holistic health coach, that was the first training I did. So it's really just holistic, meaning whole body. So most people think of a health coach as, okay, they're going to tell me to work out more and eat better. And holistic health coaching is really, we're looking at everything from all of the different things that affect your health. So, sleep, yes, movement, yes, food, but relationships and laughter and stress and toxins and self-care and all kinds of things. So that's kind of that holistic approach. And so functional medicine sort of builds on that in that it's more clinically based. And so we're looking at the root cause of symptoms. So what I like to, how I really explain functional medicine to people is if if you sat on a tack and then you went to your doctor and you said, I'm in pain, I sat on a tack, your doctor might say, okay, take some Advil for the pain. Functional medicine would say, let's remove the tack. So we're not going to just give you a pill to take care of the pain. Let's figure out why you're having pain in the first place and try to remove that. So the one thing about functional medicine, which I think is really sort of, I say hard for people to grasp, but it takes time. It's not just a pill and a quick fix. It's, especially when you think about, I'm 46, so I've been on the planet 46 years. Most of the women that I serve have been on the planet for 35 plus years. Most of us have habits and foods and movements and sort of just things that we've been doing a long time. So if you want a pill to fix something, functional medicine won't do that. We're really looking at diving deeper and saying, hey, do you have nutritional deficiencies? Or are there too many toxins in your life? Are you not sleeping enough? Are you too stressed? So it's really the sort of lifestyle change that you'll do over a period of time, not just, 2 weeks or a month and you'll feel better. I mean, hopefully we can triage you a little and help you feel better, but it's definitely more of a lifestyle approach.
Yes. Oh my God. That's so analogous to my work with mindset, because the clients that I work with have been thinking the same thoughts over and over on a loop for decades.
Yeah, exactly.
That thinking takes time, So I love that. I love that approach. It just feels so right. And it goes against this whole quick fix society that we have right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. So, okay, you were a registered nurse. Were you doing that? Are you still doing that along with this? When did you switch over to?
For the most part, I worked at Northwestern downtown, and I started as a neonatal ICU nurse, and I worked in women's health and in pediatrics for the most part. And I also worked in research, and I switched over probably around that time, probably about 7 years ago. I was still doing some work in nursing, but I knew I was starting to kind of branch out of that. And I knew I always intuitively felt like with nursing and conventional medicine that we spend a lot of money and time on sick care, taking care of sick people. And intuitively, I always felt like, why aren't we approaching people before they get sick? And so that's where things started. It just always felt sort of backward to me that we needed to try to kind of take some steps back. And it's just, like you said, it's not a society where we really want to stop what we're doing to make changes. So it's hard. There's a lot of sort of mind-body work that we have to do. I have to do with clients where we're doing some actions, but it's taken a long time for me to even switch into that realm because it's still so new. And it's really just becoming, I would say in the next 5 to 10 years, people will hear about functional medicine practitioners popping up all over the place.
So then when did you set up practice or your business? At what point did you set that up?
Yeah, so about 3 years ago, I started doing just a little bit of health coaching. I was, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition is very big on just start right away. Start about 6 months into the program, you should start seeing clients. And I did. And I would say it was helpful to kind of start doing that. But I felt like I probably needed a little more time to kind of stand back and really figure out who I wanted to serve and what kinds of, were my clients women or men. It was a really cool program, but they definitely sort of pushed people to start health coaching right away. And I definitely have found that in the last 3 years, it's evolved until now I'm really at a point where I know my ideal clients are women that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, that are really kind of your busy mom, who, whether any stage of motherhood, you could have kids that are grown or little kids, but that really want to get a handle on their health. So it's been about 3 years for me in health coaching.
Yeah. So what has been the biggest challenge shifting over to this world of entrepreneurship versus working in a hospital or working in a clinic or working for a doctor's office? What has been the biggest challenge as you set this up? I know, you've gone through some changes as far as trying to figure out who your niche is, who it is that you're doing. But what would you say has been the biggest challenge to getting this?
I think working for yourself. I mean, I've always worked for other people, and I think I did not go back. I sort of regret not having gone back to get an MBA because I think business class.
Another master's also.
I do have another master's degree, yes, in health law, which I loved. I was really toying with different ideas at the time. This is, 18 years ago that I went back for my master's, and I was deciding between a nurse practitioner, MBA, and health law. And I just, for some reason, I was really drawn to health law. I have a family of lawyers, so I felt like that seemed like the right place to go. And I've definitely used a lot of that. But I would say that, figuring out business, figuring out how to run things, really being, sticking to a schedule. And also, I think with nursing, you leave at the end of the day, you're done. When you own your own business, you're the one that is in charge. Yeah, you're on the clock. And you can't stop thinking. Your brain never sort of turns off because you're always sort of evolving and thinking about different ways to do things. So I've had to sort of, really connect with a lot of people to find out how they did that and try to just really, learn a lot from other entrepreneurs as they've gone through it to see, what's helped them, for everything from what kind of a mail system do you use to who's your website designer. I mean, all of this stuff sort of comes into play in every billing. I mean, everything, liability insurance, all this stuff has been it's been a great learning experience though.
Yeah. So let me ask you,
for sure.
When you're in the middle of your day and things are like not going as planned and everything gets kind of whacked off a schedule,
yeah.
What is the mindset that you employ to stay this course? Because, I just heard the statistic last week at my mastermind for my life coaching school that I went to in Dallas.
Oh,
99% of people who want to start businesses don't.
I bet.
99% of those who want to start something don't. So when you're in the middle of chaos, or you're, trying to juggle being a mom and doing this business, what is it that keeps you grounded in your reason why you're doing this? What is your mindset? What are you thinking?
Well, I think it's always about why I'm doing it. I mean, I've seen so many women, friends, clients, just people that I've met suffer, the healthcare dollars that we spend on chronic illness. I mean, it's just getting worse. And I think when I'm in the middle of it all, it's like just coming back to my why, like, why am I doing this? And really, I have to say, even in the hairiest moments with health coaching, I love it. Like, it doesn't compare to the hairiest moments when I was a nurse. It's a very different, and maybe because I'm working for myself and I feel so clear around what I want to do with clients or the work that we're doing. But I think sometimes I have to stop and, really take a step back. Sometimes I need to take a few things off my plate if I see that too much is coming. I think just surrounding myself, getting up from it all, walking away for a minute, but surrounding myself, I would say in general with, I bounce a lot off my husband, one of my best friends since college. She's a great, just kind of a sounding board. Sometimes I just need maybe someone else's eyes or ears to just kind of help get me back to, center again if I feel like I'm sort of spiraling a little bit. So I would say it's more the family stuff that just because I have 4 teenagers and there's so many hormones and there's a lot going on, that probably throws me over, the edge more than the business side of it,
Yep. So if you met a woman today who was thinking or toying with the idea of starting a business, what advice would you give to her?
I would say just start. I mean, you're never going to be ready. And I think that if you have a clarity around, or kind of put on paper clarity around what you want to do, who you want to serve, why you want to do it, and you start there. I mean, investing in yourself, I think, is also super important. Like you said, you're going to a mastermind group. I've invested in coaches. I've invested in some trainings and some groups that have really helped me to get on track. But I think also keeping maybe one toe or maybe a little bit of your foot in the door of what you're doing. And maybe you started as, I don't want to say a side hustle, but maybe just to kind of feel like you're still bringing in, you're sort of your own private equity group. You can bring in a little bit of money still to fund what you want to do for your business, which is what I've done. And then slowly kind of transition yourself when you feel ready to kind of, move all the way into it. So it's worse because you'll never be ready.
Yep. So you think keeping your foot in the door and earning a little income, that money piece, there's value to that, right?
I do. Unless you have someone that's really, if you have, I don't know. I mean, my husband works and has a great job, but I think I've been working for the last, 13 years. I took a little time off with the kids, and I like earning my own income, and I just do. And so I didn't want to well, it is. And I'm feeling a little freedom, even though we share the money. There's something about making your own money. And I think for me, it just felt like, I think there's no fear around money. I think when you start your own business, it's always the fear, I'm not going to make enough. You start to, the voices in your head, like, what if I don't make enough? What if it's not enough? When will I get there? Businesses take a long time to grow organically, and I think for the right people to come, because you don't just want to, you really want to serve the people that you can best serve, not just some sort of, you want the right people to come, and that takes patience and time, and you might not have income coming in right away. So I think that that's something that's worked for me. I do some contract work on the side. I still do a little bit, maybe a couple times a year, just to kind of keep a little bit of that financial piece coming in. And then the rest I really invest in my business, or I'm now I feel very financially comfortable in my business, but I needed to do that first.
Yeah, that's such a good point, because I think that's the point where you really do need a coach or a mentor, someone to help you, guide you, to keep you grounded in what you're thinking about, because this could take you into a different direction and make you want to like quit, shut your doors.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's where the guidance of a coach is so important during that beginning foundational stage. So here is a question that I ask all the ladies that come on. What is the best mistake you've ever made on this journey?
I think that I initially thought that I needed, thought I needed brick and mortar to do this business. I knew I could do it online, but I thought brick and mortar might be better. And I thought it might be better to maybe align or partner with somebody else. So I was approached by somebody. I took her up on her offer for us to do a little bit more partnering together. And I don't think I vetted her in the way that I should have, in the sense that I thought maybe we could reach a lot more people together. And as it turned out, we just have really different philosophies on health and wellness. I'm very functional focused, coming with a nursing background, just a very different approach, even with clients and customers. So I think it was a great learning point for me, because I realized I could do it on my own. And I also realized that actually being online, I do 99.9% of my business using the Zoom platform, which is like Skype. So I have clients from Seattle to the UK. It's just as valuable. We can still see each other. We don't have to be in the same room, and it feels like you're in the same room. And I think it's so great because people are so comfortable when they're in their own home or in their own space, that I think we end up getting a lot more done. So I think having sort of gone that route and partnering with someone and feeling like that was the way to go was a good sort of misstep for me to realize, you can do this on your own. You've got 25 years of experience. You know what you want to do. You have clarity. Just go for it. And you can, and we parted ways amicably, but we just realized mutually that it really wasn't the right fit together.
Yeah, that is a beautiful mistake. I love how that led to that. That's awesome. Okay, well, awesome. Thank you so much. Tell the audience where they can find you online.
Yes.
And also tell the audience any upcoming events that you have. I know you do a lot of talks locally, and you hold a lot of workshops. So please share that with the audience, because it is a big local audience.
Yeah, so I have a website. It's www.jillchmielewski.com, which is, I know, hard to spell, but I think it's in your post.
Yes.
So you can find
it down below. We'll put it down.
Yeah, that would be great. Everything is there. I'm doing, in the fall, I will be opening up 10 spots for one-to-one coaching that will last 3 months. It's weekly. My programs, I sort of shifted to a 3-month weekly meeting with clients. So there's one session in the fall and one in the winter time, so just after the new year. I'm also doing a program called Burn Fat, Lose Weight, Feel Great, which is a 12-week program, also starts in September. Very food focused, because I find women are so confused about food, what to eat. It's different for everybody. That's the punchline here, that there's no perfect diet that's going to work for everybody. And it's not a diet, but it's just helping you to start really listening to your body and making decisions on what you're eating, and really to cook more for yourself and preparing food, as opposed to quick grabbing food all the time from other places, because we tend to feel a whole lot better if we know what we're putting in our body. So I have a program starting in September. No talks, official talks slated yet for the fall, but I will have some stuff coming up. So just the website's a great place to look for that.
And where are you on Facebook? Where can they find you? Do you have a Facebook page for your business?
I do, and it's just my name again. So it's Jill Garvey Chmielewski. It's my middle name as well, and it's a women's health coach. It's just a page. So if you find me on Facebook, you'll find my page as well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jill, for coming in 5 minutes. It's been great to kind of share your story and give us all an education on what functional medicine is, because I didn't know. So thank you for enlightening me. And thank you all for taking a few minutes out of your Thursday to join me here. If you are looking for just just someone to have a conversation with, to clear the air. If you're feeling like you're in a fog, I do a select amount of clarity calls a month. Feel free to PM me and I can send you the link to schedule a clarity call with me. Otherwise, I will see you back here next Wednesday with another Wantrepreneur. Have an amazing day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, Patty.
Bye, Jill.